Hi, I'm Dr. David Bernstein, Director of the Advanced Wellness Center in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm a doctor of chiropractic and a certified clinical nutritionist. I'm the developer of a U.S. patented procedure called Digital Response Technique. It enables me to detect and correct the root causes of health issues. I'd like to impart some knowledge to you today regarding the Covid-19 virus. So I found the scripture that's most appropriate. It comes from Hosea 4:6. It says, "My people perish from a lack of knowledge." And I believe that's a big part of the problem, and I'll go into that in more detail. I'm sure most of you by now are getting a bad case of cabin fever. I never thought in my lifetime I'd see a bunch of people walking around with masks all the time, other than maybe on Halloween. And people are trapped in their homes, they're out of work, they're losing their jobs, businesses are closing up. There's so much fear, paranoia, and depression. People are living in fear, thinking some boogeyman's going to jump out from around the corner and attack them and cause them to have this virus. People are just waiting in their homes for some man to come riding in on the white horse with a vaccine to save the day. I'm not in full agreement with that. I think there's a lot we could do right now that's going to be very effective and very appropriate. The old saying, stay inside, stay alive, that mantra, I believe, is not factual. I think it causes more harm than good. When you're inside, the virus is much more concentrated. In fact, 75% of all COVID-19 patients had contracted it from indoors. So you're much better off outdoors. Think about what you're getting outside: fresh air, sunlight, especially early morning sunlight, will cause an increase of serotonin levels, which makes you happy. It also causes an increase of vitamin D3, which everyone knows is important for your immune system. People are getting exercise. There's a track near my house. I never saw so many people on that track. It's a good thing. So there's some good things that have come out of this. But even back in 1918, when they had the Spanish flu, they realized that being outdoors speeds up the recovery rate tremendously. So the world's economy has tanked. The problem is we've been reactive rather than proactive. We ignored the most important thing. The most important thing to stay healthy is to keep your immune system strong. When your immune system's strong, the virus won't harm you. See, that's the root cause. The root of the problem is keeping the immune system strong. And the problem is medicine really doesn't address root causes a lot of times. You have a headache, take an aspirin. But why are you getting a headache? It's not because you're deficient in aspirin. There's a problem there that needs to be directed and needs to be corrected. So what we need to do is keep the immune system strong, and there's certain things in lifestyle and dietary and nutritional supplements that are so important. I'll go over that, probably not in this video, but in the next one. But I'm around sick people all the time. I treat people with viruses, bacteria, yeast, parasites, and the only time I've gotten sick, and it's not many, is when I let my immune system get run down, mainly because I didn't get enough sleep. But I take great effort, I go to great lengths to keep my immune system strong. So your immune system is like your armor for your flesh. There's also a spiritual armor that's very important. That's from the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, which says we need to put on the full armor of God. That's the shoes of readiness, the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the helmet of salvation, the sword of the Spirit, and the shield of faith. So that'll protect you in many ways also. So let me tell you a little bit about this virus. The most distinguishing feature about the coronavirus is the spikes that it has on its crown. And the word crown in Latin is corona, hence the term coronavirus. And the way the virus works is those spikes on the crown drill into your red blood cells, and they attack the hemoglobin inside the red blood cells. And the hemoglobin carries 4 molecules of iron. And it's the iron that delivers the oxygen to your cells. So what happens is the virus pulls the hemoglobin pulls the iron off the hemoglobin. And the hemoglobin then gets totally distorted. The iron gets denatured and actually spills into the bloodstream. And so it can no longer carry the oxygen. And so you're not going to get adequate oxygen to your tissues. And that condition is called hypoxia. So it's so important to maintain that immune system. I keep stressing that. So if you have respiratory symptoms, it doesn't always mean that you have the COVID-19 virus. I mean, you could have some kind of cough or feel tired, and it doesn't mean that that's automatically COVID-19. People can develop coughs from allergies, from the seasonal flu. It could also be from a hiatal hernia where gastric reflux irritates the upper respiratory tract and can cause you to cough. But if you seriously think you have the symptoms such as a cough, high fever, difficulty breathing, extreme fatigue, then have the test done. And so that's important. And but not to fear. There are a number of people who are going to have this test, and it's going to show that they have a positive COVID-19 as far as their antibody will show positive. And that doesn't mean that necessarily they have it currently. It's IgG means it's from the past, which is a good sign. That means you're immune to it. You've had it already, or you've been exposed to it, and it's not going to hurt you. But there's so much fear-mongering about this. And there's a doctor, Vladimir Zelenko, up in Monroe, New York, and he's treated 1,450 COVID-19 patients with great success. In fact, only 2 have died out of the 1,450. And he's treating them with 3 things. Hydroxychloroquine, which is the anti-malarial drug, which has been around for a while. And also the Z-Pak, which is an antibiotic that's to treat any bacterial co-infections that may go along with it. And also the mineral zinc, which is very important for boosting the immune system up. He's had tremendous success with that. You might ask, well, why this hydroxychloroquine if it's an anti-malarial treatment? Well, malaria attacks the body in a similar way, although it's using a parasite called Plasmodium vivax, but it also attacks the hemoglobin molecules in a similar fashion. So the hydroxychloroquine destroys the parasite in the same manner it destroys the virus COVID-19. So it's a very effective medicine, and don't get confused with some of the other hydroxychloroquines that have been mislabeled. You heard about the 2 people who drank water, the cleaner for their fish tank, where the husband died and the wife got very ill, but she survived. That's a different kind of hydroxychloroquine. That's hydroxychloroquine phosphate. It's not meant for human consumption. This is hydroxychloroquine sulfate, which is used to treat the malaria and the COVID-19. Also, hydroxychloroquine is actually a synthetic version of quinine, which you can get from tonic water. So I recommend drinking about 4 or 5 ounces of tonic water per day. It wouldn't hurt either. And the key to this is to make sure that you don't fear, because the success rate is so great. I mean, 99.9% of the people who have this virus all recover. Only 0.1% don't. So if someone were to ask you, hey, would you like to invest in a stock that 99.9%, you're going to get a 99.9% success rate that you're going to get a good return on that stock, would you want to invest in it? Well, if I was investing in the stock market, I sure would take a shot at that one. So don't fear it. Don't fear that. And anyway, I'm going to cover some more things on my next video about what supplements to take, what foods to eat, other lifestyle elements that can keep your immune system strong. So this is Dr. David Bernstein saying bye for now. God bless you. Stay strong and healthy. Bye-bye.